Hi everybody. After my first video discussing the proper way for a man to hold a wife's pocketbook, I found several of you sent photos and questions about your personal performance. So I decided to make a more advanced video for those of you who are trying to achieve a higher level. First off, you shouldn't think of the first video as the end all. It's white belt training. So it explains the basics, but buddy, we live in a complicated world. The idea behind this video is to expand your thinking. Yes, those basic rules I taught you are true, but the idea I'm going to explain today is that holding a pocketbook is more of an art than a science. So the intent of this video is simply to open your eyes to those new possibilities. Much like different martial arts style reflect the fighting styles of different animals. You've got cheetah style and cobra style. Well, holding a pocketbook can reflect different manly things you can do, and much of this is a mindset. So how manly I've been standing here the whole time is kind of a testament to that, right? I've got kind of a little bit of a lean to this side. Now, this is what it comes down to. This is how I'm expressing that mindset. Boom. That's a torque wrench, right? So I've got the torque wrench mindset as I hold slightly askew, right? It's kind of cool, it's kind of subtle, but that's the mindset. So here today I've got a couple of examples that I'm going to show you, and I'd like you to take a look at them and just start thinking, start the process. So here we go. First off, like that torque wrench, right? The same way you held it with a little bit of skew because it was a little bit heavy, right? That's a pretty powerful wrench, right? You can hold this, something like this. You know, you could fit a whole lot in here, right? So she could shove like a week's worth of clothing into this, and that would be pretty heavy, right? So I would be forced to hold it askew. Sure, you can hold the straps a little bit different, like we talked about in the last video, but again, part of it is the stance. You could still stand like, yep, this is me. Cool. That's one idea. Here's another idea. Right? See this? This is a discus. Where do you hold that? You hold that in your first knuckle right here. So it comes here like so. What does this kind of look like? That kind of looks like a discus, right? You can hold that in the same way, and I'm going to try to do it a little bit high here, right tucked up against your side. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, no, you got to keep the pocketbook away. Well, that tires out the shoulder. So what you really have to do is try to find a comfortable stance. And that first knuckle will hold that no problem at all. So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it, something like this, right? It's baseball, right? How are you going to throw a baseball? Something like this, right? Boy, that looks pretty cool, right? Hey, I just got this pocketbook, whatever, right? I could chuck it. That's how cool I am. So keep that in mind. Now, we've got things like heavier pocketbooks, right? What does that have in common with a football? Well, a football, what are you going to do? You're going to tuck that football. You're going to tuck it nice and close, right? You don't want that football to be too far away from your body. You could fumble it. And in the end, you're trying to do the same thing with a pocketbook. You tuck it in, right? That way, nobody can take it because you've got it locked in place. It's locked in place. Okay. So finally, just to expand on that strap idea that we had before, jumper cables, right? The same way we can grab a bunch of jumper cables, we're not going to hold it, we're not going to hold the jumper cable by one cable. No, we hold it by the mass of cables. Otherwise, it's just a big mess. That's the same way we can hold this big messy pocketbook, right? You can bunch these straps up like so and grab them like so. So all of these are fantastic ideas, but you can have your own fantastic ideas. You might find yourself inspired by a shot put, right? You might not want to put the pocketbook right against your neck, but you might want to hold it close to your core as you're just kind of waiting around. You know, you hold it with two hands. Things like that, all valid ideas. So my message today is just keep an open mind. And to wrap this up, remember, there's no perfection. There's only striving for perfection. And though there's no specific right answer, there are definitely wrong answers. Thank you.